Okay, hello, TEC400. Prof. Braden Evans here to give you your introduction to technical communication. So this will be your week 1 lecture. Let's get into it. So today we'll cover an overall intro, sort of high level conversation about technical communications. I'll tell you a little bit about your first assignment, okay? Because you've got an assignment that involves an introduction of yourself and what we call a true colors assessment, a personality profile and assessment exercise. So hopefully you enjoy that, okay? All right, so what is this course all about? Well, we can look there and see Master Yoda would be the first to tell us communication, the key is communication. It's all about communicating. And really, this is more important for technical professionals than most other professions, right? Because you have some technical expertise, some sort of language that you understand that not everybody understands. That's what it means to be a technical person, right? And so you've got to really have, well-developed communication skills to be able to sort of relay that to your audience, right? So we're going to talk about why it's important with your colleagues, your boss, your clients. What about your relationships in your personal life, right? If you think about, I don't know, maybe you have a best friend or a brother or sister or a partner, husband, wife, whatever. And you can think about whenever you've had arguments, disagreements, getting in fights, right? You can probably boil it down to communication. One way or another, something wasn't well communicated, okay? That's what we try to focus on in this course, is understanding that it's so important, right? And, this pretty smart guy here, Albert Einstein, he told us all, he said, if you can't explain something simply, in simple terms, right, that everybody can understand, then you yourself don't understand it well enough. So as a scientist, I always take on the challenge. I say, okay, I know a lot about insects that most, average people don't know, right? So if I want to tell my story and communicate it to an audience of non-entomologists, right? People who are not insect scientists, then I have to understand it really, really well so that I can use language and terms that anybody can understand, okay? All right, so that's really kind of what the gist of it is, that really technical communication is actually more important for technical people than it is, for the average person. I mean, communication in general, right? Um, so, there's a whole field of technical writing out there, right? Where people are writing about technical topics, scientific topics. Sometimes you can throw business in there as well, because when you get into, finance and economics, there's a lot of, language that is not common, right? Things that not everybody understands. Think about scientists, doctors, nurses, computer engineers, government officials, right? People from all walks of life, right? They speak in technical terms, and we need to sort of be able to translate that to the public. Okay, so now I want to get your impression. What if I read this to you, okay? The Swede midge, Contarini nasturtii, is an economically significant pest of cruciferous crops, such as broccoli, in Canada and the northeastern United States. The effective temperature on the virulence of 3 entomopathogenic nematode species, Heterorhabditis bacteriophora, Steinonema carbocapsi, and Steinonema feltii, the entomopathogenic fungus, blah, 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 blah. If I spoke like that to you, if I gave a presentation like that to you, would I be doing a good job of acknowledging that my audience is not a bunch of entomologists? No, right? If I spoke like that to you, I fail. I'm a terrible technical communicator, okay? This is not how we speak to people. Maybe if I'm speaking to another entomologist who's got, specific background in entomopathogenic nematodes, right? Like I do, okay? Maybe we could speak in those terms, but you would not. This is an excerpt. I think it's part of my abstract or introduction from one of my papers. Okay, so in a scientific community of entomologists, okay, they get it, right? They understand what I'm saying because it's all a bunch of people who just work on this stuff every day. But for everybody else, I need to find a way to communicate this more effectively. All right. And that's what this course is going to teach us. All right. So, step one, if I'm talking to you like that, you can say, Prof, you fail, F for you, right? Now we're going to focus on workplace writing, right? How to be, an effective communicator in the workplace, but we're not here to, try to turn you all into technical writers. Okay. That's not the goal here. It's not that you become a technical writer, but rather that you become proficient in communicating in your own world that is technical, right? Because many of you are engineering students, environmental tech, maybe fire, aviation, something like that, right? In a technical field. So you need to be able to communicate clearly, okay? It's an introduction to the type of skills that you need to develop, right, to become a proficient communicator in a technical industry, okay? So keep that in mind, all right? We're not trying to transform you into a technical writer. That would just be too much for the scope of this course and your program, right? That's not the goal here. Okay, so it's not, the art of, writing about a specific technical topic, but it's being able to write about any technical topic, okay? So being proficient with technical communication means you could take any technical topic and really sort of, go with it, okay? And make sure that what you present is understandable for people that are out there, okay? And anytime we say technical, we just mean not common, right? You're a specialist in some way if you're a technical person. The key focus is understanding your audience. And you're going to hear me bring this up a lot, okay? These guys, this is what it's all about. All right. So over the course of this semester, I'm going to say audience, are you adapting to your audience? Right. And the point there is, like, if you're speaking to a room full of experts in your field, you're going to present your information in one way. Right. But if you're speaking to a bunch of school children who don't know anything about your field, you're going to speak in a different way. So you, as the messenger, are the one who needs to adapt to the people that are receiving your message. And you do this in the workplace, in your private life, professional life, and so on, okay? There's so many different times that we use this type of adaptation, okay? And so, it's really, to be an effective technical communicator, you really need to be good at understanding and adapting to your audience. And when I say understanding, I mean understanding, like, what do they know and what do they not know, right? So I'm going to be talking to them about computers. I need to understand, what kind of users are these? Are these people who have never taken a computer science course? They just know how to, like, use a PC? Or is this a bunch of people who, take PCs apart as part of their job every day, right? Hardware experts, whatever. All right. It really is the kind of key to this whole course. All right. You're going to be challenged to present things in a way that the audience, and in this case, often we can think of the audience as people who are not also specialists, right? Present things in a way that they'll understand. Okay. So going back to my long, technical, boring explanation of my insect friends here, do I pass or do I fail? Hopefully everybody gives me an F, because I don't want you guys communicating like this, okay? Unless it's in a scientific paper to other scientists, which is what this is, right? So this is okay for where it was published, but it's not so good for the general public, okay? All right, so there is a profession out there, right? Where, people are professional technical writers, right? They, learn the skill to really kind of quickly assimilate information, do lots of research on specific, technical information, and then produce documents that are good for the general public. So think about something like, instructions on how to change, I don't know, a car's engine or transmission, something like that. Like, a technical writer is required, right? With all of the detail and moving parts, a technical writer is required to produce some instructions like that. And we'll have a lecture on writing instruction, on how we can do that, okay? So there's a whole skill to it. And again, thankfully, you're not going to be asked to transform yourself into a technical writer here, right? We're simply going to improve your technical communication for the sort of day-to-day aspects of your job. Okay. All right. Something that'll come up every once in a while, the throughout this course, the 5 C's of, effective messaging or effective communication. Your message needs to be clear, right? So that means easy to understand. It needs to be concise. What does concise mean? Concise means it's to the point, right? It's as short as you can possibly make it. But this is important, right? So as much as a message must be concise, it must also be comprehensive, right? Or complete, okay? So meaning you try to keep it as short as possible, but don't make it so short that you forget some of the details, right? You leave out some details or you skip some steps, right? It's got to be all of these things as short as possible while trying to get the complete message out. And of course, it's got to be correct. You want it to be accurate information, right? You don't want to mislead your readers. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to switch gears a little bit and we're going to talk about your first assignment, and then I'll let you guys go. As I promised, we keep these lectures as short as possible. So let's do that here today. And we're just going to switch gears to introducing your assignment, okay? And let you get on with your day. So here's your assignment posted in the assignment section, right? It's also posted under week 1. So you've got lots of places where you can go find this assignment description, okay? This assignment is going to be easy for you guys, okay? I'm giving you 5% here for something that is so easy. I'm giving you 2 jobs, all right? One is to introduce yourself, and one is to complete what we call the True Colors self-assessment, okay? So for the introduction of yourself, I'm asking you in 3 to 5 sentences, right, in a Word document that you'll upload to the assignment section, to tell me something about yourself. You could give your name, your hometown, something that makes you unique. Maybe you have 17 brothers and sisters. Maybe you've lived in 10 different places. Maybe you read a book every week. Whatever it is, something that makes you unique. Tell me about the most interesting place you've traveled to and why. Why is it so interesting? Okay. Maybe something boring about yourself. If you can't think of anything that makes you unique, tell me something that's boring about yourself. I don't know. I'm asking you to introduce yourself, so there's no formula here, okay? It's going to be easy for you to earn 5% as long as you give me some information, okay? And try to keep it to information that you're comfortable sharing with the class, because I might bring up some examples at some point, okay? So that's step 1, introduce yourself. Okay, step 2, you're going to complete the True Colors self-assessment, okay? And we'll talk about that in a minute. You'll find a 1-page document entitled True Colors. I've got that posted for you, okay? It's a worksheet to fill out and to rate yourself in different categories to try to better understand yourself. So if I flip back to our PowerPoint for a minute, okay, step 1, I'm asking you, who are you, right? Write me a few sentences and tell me about yourself. Step 2 is this True Colors self-assessment. Let me back it up and give you a little bit of context on that, okay? So this is a model, it's been developed and proven to really help people understand their personality profiles. It can be so useful, okay? And each one of us are quite different, okay? You will be grouped based on your answers. You'll be grouped into 4 different categories. You could be an orange, a gold, a green, or a blue, okay? And, each of us will have some combination of these 4, but one will be dominant, okay? So you might have a little bit of orange, a little bit of green, a little bit of blue, but you're dominant in gold, or, vice versa, and you're dominant in blue. So you're going to have a personality that is defined by certain characteristics, okay? And this is so helpful throughout the course, because when you recognize kind of your strengths and weaknesses, your fears, your successes, and those of others, you really become a much better communicator. And it really helps in some of our sort of team-focused activities, all right? You're going to have some team assignments as well. So it really helps you become a better team player. And it's important when you're filling out this form to be honest, right? You're going to identify your own values. What motivates you? What gives you confidence? What makes you feel, valuable? What causes you stress? How do you communicate? How do you listen? And so on, right? All of this you'll be able to understand a little better from doing the True Colors exercise, okay? And so just very quickly, I will bring up our True Colors worksheet and I'll walk you through the steps on filling this out. Now, this is important that you do this correctly, okay? Here are your instructions. And you can do this on a rough paper. You don't have to print this out. You can do it, by hand, or you can do it in a Word document, whatever you want. But I want you to treat each row individually, okay? So you're going to look at row 1 first. And you're going to say, if I look across the list of adjectives in each box, so A, B, C, and D, right? Let's look at the list of adjectives and see which is most likely like me and which is least like me. Okay, so here's one. Active, variety, sports, opportunities, spontaneous, flexible. Okay, I'll say, that's maybe a little bit like me, right? Organized, planned, neat, parental, traditional, responsible. That's not really like me. I like to have more fun than this, right? Warm, helpful, friendly, authentic, harmonious, compassionate. Oh yeah, that's like me. Learning, science, quiet, versatile, inventive, competent. Okay, that's somewhat like me. Okay, so I look at these 4 and I say, which one was most like me? And I assign a 4 to the one that is most like me, a 3 to what is a lot like me, 2 to something that is somewhat like me, and 1 to the least. Okay, I can tell you number 4 is kind of how I am. C is number 4. Okay. What's a lot like me? I think this one. Okay. So A gets 3, and then I would say D is a 2 and B is a 1. So read these instructions and it'll tell you that each row should have a 1, 2, 3, and a 4, 4 being most like you and 1 being least like you. And they're ordered, they're ranked in this way. Okay, once you have completed row 1, you move on to row 2. Okay, same thing. I look at it 1 row at a time, and I may say, okay, let's see. I think this one is a 4. This one's also like me. That's a 3. This one's kind of like me a little bit. That's a 2. This one's not really like me. That's a 1. Okay, and so each row will have a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4 in it, right? Okay, that's what I want to see. If you have like a 4, a 4, a 3, and a 3, that's no good, right? You don't want that. Each 4 boxes in each row needs to have a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4, okay? So then you go down to the bottom. You've done this now for 5 rows, right? There are 5 rows where you're putting in your 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s, okay? And then you're going to tally them up. So look, to get your score for orange, for the orange color, you're going to add the score from box A. Where's box A? Let's see here. A, H, K, and S. So here we go. A, whatever score you had here. H, your score here. K, oops, what did I do? Yeah, N, sorry. And then S down here, right? I can't scroll it down. Okay, and you're going to put that tally, you're going to add them all up, add up all these boxes here, and write in the total here. Same for green. D, E, L, P, and Q, add them up, put the number here. And whichever one of these 4 categories has the highest number, that is your color. Now be honest with yourself. Don't look at this and say, well, this is what I should be. Like conservative and organized. Sometimes people say, like my wife is like this. She's very organized, very, very like sort of meticulous person, right? Which is wonderful. These are wonderful qualities, right? So she would put 4 here for sure. Me? No way. I'm not like that at all. I'm a 1. I'm a 1 in that group, right? So be honest. Don't just say, yeah, I'm a 4 here because you think you should be, because you think it's the right thing to do. Be honest and give your true self-assessment. That's what this is. Okay, folks, so going back to our assignment description, where is it? Here it is, okay? That's part 2. And you're just going to give me a little table here. Just make a table. You can even have a handwritten table and take a photo of it, whatever you want, okay, of your scores. And you can see this is a sample. This is an example I'm giving you. Look, there's a 4, a 1, a 2, and a 3 in there. They're only, you don't see numbers repeating, right? Just one of each. That was row 1. Row 2 is here, row 3, right? And then you add up all the appropriate ones and you're going to get a number here for each of your categories. And in this case, it says, you know, this person is an orange, okay? So that's all I want you to do. I want you to complete these 2 tasks on like 1 page, you know, Word document, submit that to our assignments section, right? By Friday at just before midnight next week, okay? And that's it. Short, very short paragraph introducing yourself, and then the results of your True Colors personality profile. And you will earn, if you do it correctly, you'll earn your 5%, and it'll be the easiest 5 marks you've ever gained at Seneca. So hopefully that's straightforward for you. Okay, folks, so that's it. That's all I've got for you this week. I hope you enjoyed our first lecture, short and sweet. Make sure to review all, lots of documents in the week 1 folder for you. So review all that, and I will catch you here at the same time next week with your next recorded lecture. All right, everybody, thanks so much for your attention, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.